Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a farm that will really help warriors prepare for AQ40 by getting elemental earth for nature protection potions. I stream 5 times a week, so make sure you pop into the stream, the link's just below. Let's jump in. This farm revolves around killing the small rock elementals that Landslide spawns during his boss encounter in Marauding. The fastest way to get there is to use your Scepter of Celebras and go straight to the waterfall entrance and then head straight to Landslide. I wanted to keep this farm as cheap as possible, so the only consumables I'm using here are heavy runecloth bandages and mighty troll's blood potions. These potions are very cheap and just allow you to sustain your health a little bit more easily. If you can grab any world buffs before coming here, you will also have an easier time, but in this run I don't use any buffs at all. You will need a certain amount of gear to pull this farm off. When we get to the kill, I take my chest and my legs off and get to around 5k health just to show that this can be done with a decent gear set and not an insane one. I am also using a diamond flask healing set before the boss encounter with 400 plus healing for a very nice easy first stage on the boss. I have barely put any effort into my healing diamond flask set and mainly just picked up greens and any unwanted raid pieces, but I imagine anything around 200 healing will help you get past the first boss stage comfortably. Over the course of testing this farm, I discovered that the life-giving gem is a very nice trinket to use. It heals you for 15% max HP on use, which is like a free health potion. It's definitely not required, but a nice item to have for this. In terms of spec, I really like being arms for this farm. It allows me to stay PvP spec during the week, and sweeping strikes synergizes very well with the 30-second intervals that Landslide uses to spawn his adds. First off, kill the giant that patrols up the ramp towards Landslide and also take care of the rock elemental patrol. When you get to the top of the hill, you will be faced with 2 giants that pull together. If you have the gear, then you can definitely cleave these down together. But this strategy that I'm showing here of killing one and then running down the hill and going to a reset spot allows you to take these one by one, which is a safer strategy. You will only have to kill these once and then you'll be able to farm the boss until they respawn. Through testing this, I've found that the rock elementals seem to spawn a little bit quicker than the giants, so be careful of that. I spent a bit of time mucking around after I got these patrols killed getting video shots for this video, and the patrol ended up respawning and ganking me halfway through the pull, which you will see, it did not go well, but you should be safe for around an hour once you get these patrols down. Okay, time for the boss. Start off in your healing set, pop your diamond flask, and then swap back to your DPS set ready to blast. An add-on like Item Rack allows you to swap your sets very quickly, so consider getting something like that. Make sure you don't move your diamond flask when you're changing gear, as this will cause you to lose the buff. When you've swapped back to your DPS gear, bandage back up to full health and then charge straight in.
It's too far away.
Your first focus is to get the boss below 10% health. Don't kill him, but get him as low as you possibly can. The lower health he's got, the slower he's going to move, making your job kiting him around the pillar a lot easier. Landslide will spawn 4 rock elementals every 30 seconds. These elementals die automatically after 1 minute. As long as you have tagged them, you will be able to receive loot from them when they die automatically. I have found the best strategy for staying alive here as a warrior is to kite the adds away from the boss and try to kill them as fast as possible. I really like being in arm spec for this because every time he spawns his adds, you will have Berserker Rage and Sweeping Strikes off cooldown. Go into Berserker stance, use Berserker Rage, swap to Battle stance, use Sweeping Strikes, back to Berserker stance for a massive whirlwind on all 4 of the adds and then mop them up from there. After a few rounds of adds, you will find yourself in a nice rhythm juggling these cooldowns. Try and target mark Landslide with an icon at the start of the fight. This makes it much easier to see where he is on the other side of the pillar. Landslide will stand still to cast Earthquake every 30 seconds. This will spawn his adds, and if you are in line of sight of him when he does this, you will get stunned for 7 seconds as well. Make sure you are out of line of sight when he does this, and take this opportunity to use a bandage and regenerate some health. 1 in every 2 earthquakes you will have a bandage available, and the other earthquake I usually spend looting, and this is another nice rhythm that you can get into during this farm. So as you can see at the very end of this farm, I got ganked by a respawn patrol, which put an end to the farming. But in 58 minutes, we killed 368 mobs and managed to get 18 elemental earth. At first sight of this, I wasn't massively impressed, so I took to the open world and tried to see what I could farm in my favourite open world spot compared to this. I accidentally took 7 elemental earth to the Badlands with me for some reason, so please ignore those. But in an hour of farming, we managed to get 15 elemental earth. But saying that, this spot was very uncontested. I only had to kill 1 horde and he didn't come back, so my farm was completely uninterrupted, which isn't what people will find on most servers. That does mean that the landslide farm has value outside of the elemental earth per hour that it generates. Inside Maraudon, no one can gank you and the patrols are very predictable, so you can learn how to deal with them effectively. At the end of the day, I think these farms are likely to generate a similar elemental earth per hour, and RNG could push one better than the other, and then the next time it could be worse than the other one. So it's simply a matter of preference whether you prefer farming in a dungeon or in the open world, and your server and population will dictate a lot of this. Without a doubt, elemental earth is going to get more expensive. When AQ gets announced and it gets a release date, the prices will go up. And then they will go up even more when the raid actually gets released, and then probably even more when people start using all of them in AQ. Getting a supply for yourself now, whether it's through farming or through buying them, is a really good idea, but the fact that we have a dungeon that we can go to now as a warrior and reliably grind these is very, very valuable. That's going to wrap this video up. Enjoy farming that sweet tasty elemental earth. People are going to be snacking on these boys like popcorn when AQ hits, so get your supply now and beat the price boom. Be sure to drop into my Twitch channel and say hello, and most importantly, until next time, keep on blasting.